Okay, so here we are with Jacob Deraps. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. I mean, been looking forward to this one for quite a while now, seeing how
Yeah,
Van Halen fan.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you're in Canada, aren't you?
Yeah, Canada and Quebec. So I'm French Canadian actually. So my main language is French. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah,
Cool. Now, so I want to talk about this new album coming out this week, 17th of June.
yep. Friday. Yeah,
Yeah, so just entitled Deraps, isn't it?
yep, yep. Self-titled. Yep.
Yep, beautiful. And so I've already seen four of the songs, I think, out there at the moment. You got the singles for.
Yeah,
Uh,
the singles.
which are all amazing. So just love it. I mean,
Thanks.
the really good thing I love about this is, there hasn't really been anything around for quite a while actually, with the music you guys are doing, and just being so young as well, and influence all these other people, like especially teenagers, young kids, to listen to this type of music and get it out there again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I reckon it's a huge bonus what you guys are doing. I just love it.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's music that we grew up on and music that we love. And as musicians, as a guitar player, it's just amazing to be influenced by music of the 70s and 80s because there was such great guitar players back then. So it's just a natural thing for me to be attracted by this kind of music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just can't wait for you guys to be huge all over Australia so I can start teaching my students your riffs.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Awesome.
yeah, because I mean, this is my main job. I'm a guitar teacher, so
Okay.
I always
Cool,
ask the
cool.
kids, "Oh, what do you like? What do you want to learn?" And the songs they say I've never heard of, and it doesn't have any guitar in there. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I would bet there's a lot of stuff that young people would probably want to learn that is completely different from what we were used to. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It's the problem we have with I think music these days in general. People consume a lot of music. They don't necessarily listen to it. It's not like they used to do in the 70s where they people used to have a good sound system like speakers and headphones and listen to a full album.
Hmm.
Uh, you could really appreciate what was going on there and really listen to all the details. It's important to listen to music on great speakers and great headphones, and that's what makes you fall in love with the music, and you hear all the details and the tone and stuff like that. I don't think it's uh I don't think it's possible to not like Van Halen when you put on the headphones and you listen to it properly and you hear that guitar tone, that is so unique and distinct and like something you've never heard before. It's just so good, and we get a lot of young people my age at our shows, and they've never heard of that stuff because we play bars here
Yeah,
in our small city, and there's always young people in the bars, so they discover us and they go wild on that stuff. They just love it because they've never heard stuff like that, and we play so loud and raw and aggressive, just like they used to in the 70s. The big Marshall, cranked up Marshall, and it's very authentic and raw and organic. They love this stuff. They just don't know it.
yeah, that's right. That's funny though,
Yeah.
'cause, some of my students, I slowly put in the Van Halen songs. Just they don't even know what it is, but they're like, "Oh wow, this is really cool." Like, for example, I had one of my students studying arpeggios, and I was showing him the ain't talking about love, just a dun 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 dun, dun the
Yeah, the
picking
minors.
through the
Okay.
riff, and he's like, "Oh well, that's really cool."
Right. Yeah, he'd never heard of it, but he
Yeah,
loved it because, well, you showed it to him, and the riff is just one of the greatest riffs of all time, I think.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Obviously, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's really
Yeah,
cool. So yeah, so going back to the album, um, can we just go through some of the songs and give us a little background on some of it? That's okay.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
So the first single, "Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll,"
Yeah,
that was the first single, wasn't it?
that was the first single. This one we released way back in 2020, so a week before everything closed down.
Oh, really? Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, like a week before that. But it was okay. We got the record deal a couple months after,
Mm.
and we were working on the album, so the timing was still fine, for that. It was really shitty for the shows. We couldn't do shows. We had to cancel a bunch of shows,
Yeah.
and we were really looking forward to start doing more shows and work on the album and everything. Me and Josh and William get better, do more shows, hopefully tour and everything. And it was all canceled.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nominated. That track was nominated for Tracks of the Week by Classic Rock Magazine, and it was voted #1. So we won Tracks of the Week for that song, and yeah, and then a couple years after, 2 years after, we released more single and now more singles, and now the album is coming. So that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what a great way to let people know who you are through that song. Yeah, it just shows everything really.
Yeah, yeah,
Really cool.
yeah. That song, it was a very Van Halen influenced song,
Yep.
with the boogie, the drums, with the boogieing and the swing feel, and it's just a party song.
Yeah.
And that song was actually, well, Josh wrote the lyrics for that song about a party that was gonna happen in one of our shows that we did here at Jack's Saloon. It was kind of a, how would I say that? We could kind of see how the show was going to happen, and what was going to happen in the show, and how people are going wild and everything. We could kind of see that beforehand, especially with that song, which is fast paced and rock and roll.
Yeah.
And it was just the perfect. I don't know. It was kind of meant to be.
Yep.
And then we did the show. So the lyrics was written before that show, but that show was booked. And then we did the show, and people were going completely nuts. There's so the video of that song, the official video, is mostly clips of that show that one of my friends filmed. So you can see people dancing and going wild, and people they were drunk, and it was just wild party.
That's good. So it's like you really predicted what was going to happen for the film clip.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So basically, that. Yeah. So Josh wrote all the lyrics about what was going to happen, and that's what happened.
Wow.
So it's kind of funny. Yeah.
We're meant to be.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So with Josh, so I know he's from Australia. So when did he go over to Canada to meet up with you?
The first time was in 2017. I asked him if he wanted to do some shows with me here, because we'd been doing videos together for quite a while, like a bunch of years, doing Van Halen covers and other bands as well, like 80s and 70s stuff. I managed to book some shows here, and he flew all the way from Australia, and we did a bunch of festivals and bars. So yeah, that was it. That's how we met. It was through the internet, and then we met here for the first time in person. And actually, the first time we got to play together was after we picked him up at the airport, and we went to see Toto in Montreal. And there's a video of that, but we actually got on stage with Toto, and we played Rosanna with them. And that was me and Josh on the drums, and that was the first time we played together.
Wow, what an introduction! Welcome to America, post Toto.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was like a dream come true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Josh stayed until what, 2020? Then he had to go back to Australia. Is that right?
No. So he was only coming for a couple months during the summer here, because we have crazy winters in Canada. So there's not much going on in the winter. There's no festivals, like outside festivals. Well, there is, but I mean, there's not like big music festivals where you can play as a band, because it's freezing. It's like -30 degree Celsius, and then it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was coming in the summers, and we were doing a bunch of shows, festivals, bars every year up until 2020. So yeah,
Okay.
so
Oh,
I haven't seen him for two and a well almost 3 years now.
wow. Crazy.
Yeah, almost 3 years, because the last time was in at the end of the summer 2019. So
Yeah.
yeah, because he flew back in Australia, and then we worked on the album all these through these last year, and that was all we did,
Yeah. Incredible. Yeah, I mean, so I actually did an album last year as well with a lady from Brazil, Phoenix van der Weyden, her name is, and
Okay, cool.
released this album here, Roach and Weyden.
Okay, that's cool. You
But,
so you did you're playing guitar on that?
yeah, yes, I play guitar and bass,
Okay.
and we used a drummer from France. He did all the tracks, and
Oh,
then we
that's
got
cool.
like different guest artists to come in. Like we had Jennifer Batten, from Michael Jackson's band, played on it.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I know. Yeah.
Guitarist from Australia, Brett Garsett, is an amazing
Okay,
guitarist. Yeah, so that's
that's
really
cool.
cool. Yeah, so I
That's
understand what you're talking about with the whole back and forth overseas.
Oh yeah, that was a pain. That was really a pain, because we did everything ourselves. Especially like working on the album, it was really hard. It was fun, because recording music and getting to hear it afterwards. But the thing is that we had to work so much on getting everything the way that we wanted, and learning in the process of making it,
Yeah,
because we had never mixed an album before. So you have to learn and try to achieve the what you want to achieve. You want to get to a certain level of sound that is equal to the bands that you're listening to, like AC/DC, Van Halen. It sounds so good, it's so well produced, and there's tens of thousands of dollars on these records, when with big producers and engineers and all kinds of people. We did that all ourselves. There were two people on this album, so we had to learn everything, uh trial and error, and we had to make it work. It was really, really tough sometimes, but we got through it, and we didn't give up, and a lot of hard work, passion, dedication. That's music, and yeah, we're really proud and happy of the results.
oh yeah, that sounds great. I mean, just what I've heard so far, the four singles, the songs and the production. I know you got the mastered somewhere else, but even like you're saying the mixing and just everything, the harmonies.
Yeah, yeah. The mastering was done by another guy here, a pro in Quebec. So it's the only thing we didn't do is the mastering.
Yeah,
And as well, the first single that we did, "Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll," way back in 2020. The new mix. So I released a new version on YouTube recently. So, and that's the remixed version,
okay,
with different bass track, and a completely different mix. We reworked the mix completely for the album, and it sounds much better.
yeah,
So it's available only on YouTube for now, that one, but it's going to be on the album as well. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. So how'd you go? Because I think you said you played all the bass as well. Um,
Yeah.
had you played bass a lot before this album?
No, not really. I play bass only for mostly for our covers that we did of Van Halen and other. We did Whitesnake, David Lee Roth, a bunch of covers that we did. So I was always playing bass on those.
Yep.
Um, but I never really pick up the bass to play for fun. It's just I would pick my guitar instead, just because I love guitar. But
Yeah.
I love bass as well. I listen to a lot of music like Toto and Michael Jackson and Earth, Wind and Fire and all these classic rock bands as well. So I can really mix a lot of styles, and I like funky bass lines and groovy bass lines. It's got to be the perfect bass line. I at some point I got to understand that, because when I way back when I was like 16, I would do demos and play the bass parts, and the bass parts would be fine, but they wouldn't be super exciting, I
Yeah.
would say. And in the last couple of years, especially working on the album, it made me a better bass player, and understanding what it was to play bass, and what it was to create a bass line that would really enhance the song
Yep.
and make it more interesting. I like to put a lot of bass fills and bass solos where I need to put them, where it doesn't, it's not in conflict with the guitar.
Yeah.
And I like to keep things interesting, just like classic rock music and music of the 70s and 80s. There was always something interesting. It was very it was organic and very real and authentic. A lot of jams and stuff like that. So I like to keep it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's the hardest thing. I know for me, I was pretty much the same doing this album. The bass, you got to really think like a bass player. Like I know, again, back in the old days, I used to do the bass, and I just like follow the root notes of what the guitar's doing. But
Yeah.
you can't think like that. You got to maybe being influenced by Van Halen and everything else. You really hear like those Michael Anthony bass lines. It's incredible stuff he's doing, and listening to
Oh
your
yeah.
song, same thing. It's really cool bass lines.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and you're gonna hear as well on the rest of the album. I think you're gonna like it because there's a lot of bass stuff that I'm doing as well.
Yeah,
And if you listen to "Live Fast" as well, "Live Fast, Die Slow," in the bridge, there's a bass solo going on there underneath the little guitar thing that I'm doing, holding the guitar chord. It's just really cool, interesting stuff that I like to add on the bass as well.
yeah,
It's just a lot of fun.
yeah. That's really cool. But I mean, it's a good thing for everyone to know that too. Like, you did do that, the guitar and bass, and because I know for me, I
Yeah.
always try to listen to different things and think, oh wow, look at that, that's really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Actually, talking about that song, that Love Fast Die Slow. That's like I guess more like a blues rock. Would you call it?
Yeah, more of a blues rock kind of song. It's more influenced by I would say ZZ Top and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm Stevie Ray Vaughan is a huge influence on me,
Mm.
um, and a lot of blues stuff that I do is because of him.
Yep.
And it made me a better player, playing SRV stuff, like learning the music, because I know a lot of SRV stuff as well.
Mm.
And it's just it was I don't know, that song was more influenced by this kind of stuff, and ZZ Top as well, and AC/DC. It's a little bit more 70s, that one, which is something that we love to do. Like on the entire album, there's a lot of different styles of music, but with a consistent sound.
Yeah, yeah. So I've seen your video of I think it's like demonstrating your different styles. Like you got Van Halen, Malmsteen, Stevie Ray,
Right,
AC/DC,
right, yeah,
and you've got them all
yeah.
mastered. You do it really well at all of them.
Thanks. I when I stick to a certain player, I really like to get as close as possible to the feel and the groove and the sound. And the same thing when I play Malmsteen or Van Halen,
Yeah,
and I figure out uh, ways and experiment on how to get there, with the sound, especially the guitar tone and the playing. But at the end, all these influences it's part of me, and I make my own thing with it, and it sounds like what it is, the album and the songs, and you know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a good thing about listening to the songs so far. The your solos and everything. It really is. You can tell you've got your own style. Even now, a lot of people say, "Hey, this is the Van Halen guy," but it's not. You've got everything in there.
It's not. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, it's not. Like, if people, yeah, I get it. I'm very much influenced by Van Halen, and I will. I'm not gonna hide it. I love being influenced by Van Halen,
Yep.
and I love writing songs that are in the ballpark of Van Halen stuff. Because obviously, I just love the music. So, but yeah, I definitely have my own style of playing. And when you listen to this album, there's a lot of stuff that Van Halen has nothing to do with the stuff that I did, like "Live Fast, Die Slow." There's
Yeah.
in the solos and the sound and the riffs. It's not very Van Halen.
No, exactly. That's right.
Yeah, it's got our own kind of feel to it, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But then going over tracks like the new one you got out, "Veins in My Heart." Um,
yeah,
I'd say, I mean, for me, when I listened to it, I heard like a cross between Van Halen and, say, Europe, something like that, or
yeah,
Whitesnake.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It was very much influenced by Whitesnake.
Okay,
Uh,
there you go.
that
Yeah,
one because I'm a huge fan of the album 1987 and Slip of the Tongue as well
yep,
with Steve Vai on it. I'm a
yeah,
big fan of that. So I'm a big Whitesnake fan. And a big 80s fan in general as well. Rat, Dawkins, all these bands, Europe as well. I
hmm,
love that album, The Final Countdown. The entire album is very good. So that song came from a poem that Josh wrote, and he sent that to me because I was looking for lyrics to write new songs and create new songs, and I started reading the poem with my guitar in my hands, and as I was reading the poem, I started playing these chords and singing the melody,
wow.
which just came out of nowhere, basically.
See.
Everything it all came together. The intro, like the intro vocals, I knew that was going to be the chorus. It just really fell into place perfectly. That was it, like lightning in the bottle kind of thing.
Yeah,
And it all came together: verses, a bridge, the solo eventually, and it really needed to be that kind of big production with stereo guitars and 80s kind of sound and vibe
mm,
and vocals, big harmonies,
yeah,
big vocal harmonies,
yeah,
big chorus, catchy chorus. It was just meant to be like that. We really wanted to go all in on that song because we knew that it was going to fit perfectly for that 80s kind of style,
yeah,
and sound. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it came out perfect. I mean, pretty much what you just described. Yeah, you can hear that exactly. So,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
that's great. And then the last one we have is "My Side of Town." Oh, sorry, not the last song, but the
Yeah,
last one released.
yeah, yeah. The last one was actually we released "Veins of My Heart." That was the last release.
Oh
So
yeah, right.
my side came for that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, My Side of Town. So I wrote this song with Jesse Bradman, uh, he was a keyboard player in Night Ranger. I don't know exactly when. I know he's doing a lot of stuff with a lot of different musicians. He's a great musician. He's a great singer and a great keyboard player as well, and a great guy. And he wrote the lyrics and did some like vocal stuff on one of my demo. And that's how the song was created. Most songs on the album were created from demos that I did like when I was 16 or something,
Okay.
and I would send that to Josh, and he would do some lyrics,
Yep.
and I would rearrange everything, and we would record properly, and so that's how most songs came together. But yeah, that one was with Jesse Bradman.
Yeah, another great song and awesome solo in that one too.
Yeah, thanks. And the video, Josh did all of the video as well.
Mm,
He did all of the videos for every song actually. But the video was filmed in New York City, and we had all these clips and audio clips from all these videos that we were filming while we were on just walking on the street in New York City, and just it was my first time in New York, so I was discovering the city basically.
mm,
And we used a bunch of these audio clips throughout the song. You can hear a
okay.
lot of stuff, city noises, and
Yeah,
in the intro as well,
yeah,
uh, which is really cool. Josh put that in the mix, and he mixed that for in stereo as well, which is really cool. And
yeah,
Josh is playing a lot of characters, like drug dealers and stuff like that on the streets
yeah,
of New York City, and you can hear it especially if you listen with headphones. You can really hear perfectly a lot of stuff.
yeah,
It was a lot of fun. We really wanted to capture the vibe of the city in our song.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think we managed to do that pretty well. It really captures the vibe of like being in a city,
yeah.
and both sides as well, like the dark side and the fun side of being in the city. There's both in that song. It really captures that perfectly, I think. Yeah.
Oh, it does for sure. That's great.
Yeah.
So does Josh play other instruments as well, rather than drums?
Yeah, he's doing vocals as well. Yeah, he's doing some co-lead vocals on certain songs. Like in Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, you can hear him in the pre-choruses.
Okay.
He little lines here and there that he's singing,
Hmm.
and other songs as well. And he's doing some back vocals, some on certain songs.
Yeah,
Um, and he basically mixed the entire album as well.
yeah.
So that was mostly him. He mixed the whole thing with my input and listening back and forth. And I would say to him, okay, we got to do that and change this, and I would re-record some stuff as well. And I mixed my guitar pretty much. Yeah, yeah. He would send me like the current mixes, and I would have my guitar track and mix it with the current mixes in there. So I mixed my guitar,
Hmm.
and that's pretty much it. Yeah,
Wow. Sounds like you guys got a great collaboration between the two of you as far as like the mixing, writing
yeah,
videos, writing songs. It's amazing.
yeah. It's like a two-man army. It's pretty crazy that
Yeah,
we got to do that like all by ourselves. It's pretty insane.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so going over to some of the other songs which we haven't heard yet, which I've seen on one of the interviews, I think someone spoke about. So you have Invasion, Make Your Groove, and On My Mind. So is anything you
Yeah.
can tell us about those songs before we hear them?
Yeah. I can talk a little bit about that. Like I said before, there's a lot of different styles on the album. Well, I would say different genres of music, basically, because we're influenced by so much styles of music, so many bands.
Yeah.
That when we create music, when I pick up my guitar, start playing, it could be anything from pop to like pop rock, to a little bit of jazz and blues, and there's a lot of stuff in there. So there's some songs that are completely different, but with a consistent sound and style of playing. We have a style as a band,
Yeah.
so it always fits on the album, no matter what kind of style it is. So yeah, On My Mind, is I think a lot of most people, they like that song. They really love that song. It's more of a pop rock kind of thing.
Okay.
It's a fun summer kind of smooth, groovy song. Love the bass line on that one. Yeah. Um, Make It Groove is very upbeat kind of party summer song as well. I would say a little bit pop rock as well.
Okay.
A little bit influenced by Toto.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, very much influenced by Toto. Actually, it's one of our favorite bands. So that's pretty much it. And there's a cover as well of Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're gonna hear that as well.
Yeah.
And there's Fuck Off as well, which is more of a it reminds me a little bit of Loss of Control by Van Halen.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's a little bit more aggressive and fast, and
Yeah.
someone told me recently that it reminded him of a little bit of metal, so
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
more metal sounding a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff on the album. I think people are gonna love this. Like, honestly, if you're a fan of guitar playing and organic, raw 70s style production and 80s style production and music, you're gonna love this. This is really something different compared to what we have these days.
Yeah. Oh, for
In the
sure.
market. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, not. I mean, so talking about the guitar playing, but your voice as well is incredible.
Oh, thanks.
So anyone,
I never really talk about my voice because I don't really see myself as a singer.
yeah,
I'm a guitar player, and I've always been a guitar player, and I started singing because I I couldn't find a singer and I wanted to do the job. I was like, well, might as well. If I can't find someone that can do what I want, then might as well try to do it myself. And I did. So I developed a lot of technique. And I'm self-taught, in everything that I do.
Wow.
And it's the same with Josh. He's self-taught as well.
Yeah.
With music production and music videos, we're all, learning the hard way. And but
But you're
I
doing it the
think,
right way.
yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's the best way to do it because
Yeah.
uh, you understand better what you got to do, and you develop your own style. So that's good. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the thing with this style is, I mean, I've never really seen it before. A guitarist that can sing like that, like yourself, and play those riffs. That's the really tricky part. I don't think people realize that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, singing stuff like "Hot for Teacher" at the same time as playing.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
pretty tough. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle just to do like Pretty Woman that dun, 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 and sing over the top of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. No, I can't wait to hear the full album. It's going to be awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So it's coming out very soon.
Yeah, I know. So, is there many tracks that are just guitar and bass, like no other guitar overdubs, like the traditional Van Halen, I guess?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually there's quite a lot.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
I think most of is it most of the album?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, most of the album actually. So Sex Drugs, My Side of Town, there's no overdubs in that.
Yep.
Well, Live Fast, there's no overdubs in that as well, right?
Yeah,
Nope,
yeah,
there's not. It's only Veins of My Heart.
yeah.
Um, Ballroom Blitz, there's no overdub in that. And Fuck Off as well.
No.
Wild to the Woman as well. So basically all of the tracks are like 3 tracks where there's overdubs. We try to sound as live as possible because that's
Yeah,
just that's what we love. The rawness of just guitar, drums, and bass, and the way it sounds very clear and
yep.
just a type of sound that we really love, and we try to sound the same on the album as we do live. Because we're a power trio. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great. I mean, because for me, being a Van Halen fan as well, that was one thing I really, really loved about their sound, especially earlier on. That rawness of
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah,
live album, really.
me too. I really love that, and especially the guitar sound is so clear and punchy, and
Yeah,
it takes a lot of space, and it's guitar based music. The guitar riffs and guitar melodies, uh, guitar and the vocals. That's what is like the primary instruments on these albums by Van Halen and on our album as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, excellent. So what's the next step? I know the album's been released Friday, and then after that, I guess you hopefully tour later on.
Yeah, yeah. Probably not this summer, because we're a little bit late for that. But we're looking forward to tour in fall, so after the summer. And we want to tour anywhere that would be possible. So any opportunity that we get, we're going to go there and do some shows. And we want to tour for as long as possible for in many places as possible. So that's what we're looking forward to. And promoting the album, and hopefully definitely looking forward to hear the comments, hear what people have to say about that, because we have a lot of fans that have been waiting for years now. I have like 30,000 subscriber on YouTube, people that have been following me for a long time through my musical journey, playing covers and stuff like that. And now the album, a lot of people, they're keen to hear that stuff, so I'm very excited about that for sure. And Josh as well, we couldn't be prouder of what we achieved by ourselves. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, must be very proud of both of you.
Yeah, 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 definitely. It was so much hard work, and it's our passion. So yeah, hopefully we can go on tour and show it to as many people as possible.
Yeah. And we'll love to see you down here. Well, Josh is here already, so you guys just have to fly over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's really cool. And so it's being released by, is it Metalville Records?
Metalville Records, yeah, a German label.
Okay, yeah. And what's the other one, the Japanese one? Is it through them as well? Ward Records?
Yeah, Ward Records. So yeah, so there are a label for Japan basically.
Okay.
Yeah, they have like a, I don't know, distribution deal or something together. It's really cool because Ward is it's the biggest label over there. They have the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, they have White Snake, Def Leppard. They have all of these crazy big bands on their label, and to be a part of that, it's such an honor. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
just unreal to us. And so far I've done a few interviews for Japan, and so far the response has been great, and they seem to love our stuff. So we never know what could happen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they'll love it over there. They love their rock music, and so it'll be really
yeah, they love guitar stuff, so
cool. Yeah.
it's perfect fit for them.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm just really excited to hear it, and thank you for bringing this music back into our lives.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah,
No problem.
I'll see you next time. Yeah,
Yep, for sure.
bye
Thank you.
bye.
All right, see ya. Bye.
Thanks to you, man. Thank you.